Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, all honor and all glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Kwamalak Yahushua, double honor to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Hamashiach Yahushua. A hearty, mighty shalom to the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, magnifying the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and presenting their body as a living sacrifice. Shalom to all of those men. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing our husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Shalom, Yerah, 12 Stones, Antoine Ford, Quadash Zion, T. Sellers, Caleb Daniels, Vernon Brody, We Got Next Israel, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Mosai willing, all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The topic of this cold cut, right, is please, right, please don't be like these men. Stop making excuses and more, right? So I got a lot I want to touch on. I want to go into, I've been doing, well, which I want to plan on doing, right, is going into particular men that you read about throughout the scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, whose life are set up as an example and a testament on what to do and what not to do, how to serve the Most High, how not to serve the Most High, what actions did these men do that made them marked and as a memorial of destruction, and what men are you not supposed to follow, man? You know, everybody that's set up and that you read about in the Bible is written as an example of learning. You're supposed to read these accounts and be taught through the Spirit on how to move and serve the Most High, right? Let me get this precept, and I also want to touch on a particular spirit that I've been noticing that Israel's been in, man, right? And I want to touch on that as well. But first and foremost, let's go to, I'm going to open this up, right? I want to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, right? Chapter 44, right? Let me kick it off with Sirach, the 44th chapter. So we're going to dive right into it, right? You have different men written in the Holy Bible, evil men and great men, that we're supposed to read about, you're commanded to read about, and receive instruction. All right, let's go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 44, and I'm going to jump down. I'm going to read 1 and 2, then I'm going to jump down, most I will. All right, this is Sirach chapter 44 and 1, right? It reads, Salakia, let us now praise famous men and our fathers that begat it. So you have famous men, you have men like Noah, men like Enoch, men like Elijah, men like Moses. You had men like David, mighty men whose names live forever, right? The Lord hath wrought great glory by them and through his great power from the beginning, such as did bear rule in their kingdoms, men renowned for their power, giving counsel by their understanding and declaring of prophecies, right? You can read about Enoch, and Enoch is an example of repentance unto all generations. Enoch pleased the Most High, he prophesied, he walked with the Most High, meaning he was in the spirit and kept the law, and he was not, meaning the chariot took him, huh? We read that and we understand that if we walk with the Most High, if we go into the prophecy, if we're keeping the laws, we're walking amongst Babylon, and we're going to be not where the Most High is going to take us as well. Right? We read about King David, we read about Moses, we read these different accounts of their different actions, and we receive instruction. Right, leaders of the people, right, by their counsels and learning meet for the people, wise and eloquent in their instructions, such as found out musical tunes and recited verses in writing. Men, rich men furnished with ability, living peaceably in their habitations. All these were honored in their generations and were the glory of their times, right? So you have men that are honored. People still talk about Abraham. You can ask the average Joe on the streets, and you say, have you heard of Abraham, or have you heard of Noah? Even people of the world, they know about these men, oh yeah, I know Abraham, he was dealing with the Most High. They'll say, oh, that was he's in the Bible. They'll say something like that. People heard of Moses. You have men whose names just continue and their name will never cease, man. Because the Most High put that spirit on the earth for these men's names to be honored. And they were the glory of their times. Hey, Moses was the glory of his time. Abraham was the glory of his time. Enoch and Noah, they were the glory of their times. Adam, Seth, they were the glory of their times. There be of them that have left a name behind them, that their praises might be reported. So you have the Apostle Paul, you have Peter. I mean, we can go on and on, right? I mean, time would fail us to name all of these righteous men. You can go to Hezekiah, right? You can learn all these different accounts of our forefathers, Barak, and see what they did, read about it, and say, I need to apply that in my life. The faith that this man had, let me do that. The repentance and humility that this man had, let me do that. The instruction and the leadership that this man had, let me apply that. Right? So you read about these men and read about the name that they had and the report that the Most High gave them. Right? And here's the point I want to touch on. Verse 9. And some there be which have no memorial, who are perished as though they had never been, and become as though they had never been born, and their children after them. But these were merciful men whose righteousness have not been forgotten. So you have forefathers with great names. You have Judas Maccabeus, right? You have Simon the high priest. You have Jonathan. You have Mattathias. You have Matthew. You have Nathaniel. You have Thomas. You have men. You have Stephen, right? You have mighty men throughout the Bible whose name lives forever. And now you have men whose names don't live forever, right? They're on the earth and you don't even know that they existed. Or you have men that walk the earth that you read about strictly for the purpose of you to be taught not to do what this man do or did. Right? When you read about Nabal, you know what not to do, dealing with how to deal with your brother. When you read about King Saul, you know what not to do. You read about Judas Iscariot, right? You read about Jason, Menelaus, these different men. You read that and say, no, okay, this is what I should not be doing. Don't be like those men, right? And what other men, right? I want to touch on these men, right? Other men that you're not supposed to be like, man. Right now, the first installment, I kind of touched on Numbers, the 13th chapter and the 14th chapter, dealing with the 10 spies in the wilderness. Right? There's a lot of men in the wilderness of what not to be like, man, outside of Joshua and Caleb. Now, this is Numbers chapter 16 and 1. Now, Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the sons of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. So these men have a conspiracy, right? They have set up a major conspiracy and insurrection, not against Aaron and Moses per se, but really against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And one of the ringleaders was Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath. Now, the sons of Korah were priests, man, right? They were in charge of doing a service to the Most High, right? These are men that were actually in a high position. When you go into the law in the book of Numbers, which I have right here, and Numbers, the 4th chapter, you read about the office that these men were given. And they were given a high office, right? They had a great responsibility. Korah came from the son of Kohath, right? The Kohathites were a particular clan, for lack of better terms, a family of Levites who had one of the highest offices outside of Aaron and Moses and the sons of Aaron, right? You had 3 families of these Levites who received offices when it came to dealing with the tabernacle, right? You had Kohath, you had Merari, and you had Salaki, let me get this other one, Gershon, if I'm not mistaken, right? The Murmurites, and I want to pull this up. I have it on the the Gershonites, right? So let me pull this up so brothers can see this. Right, hold on, bear with me, just so brothers understand. So you had the Kohathites, This is just some history in the book of Numbers so brothers know the background. You have the Kohathites, the Gershonites, and the murmurers. These were three Levitical families, of which Korah in Numbers chapter 16, who's the ringleader, well known for his folly. You can read about Korah in the book of Jude, right? The gainsaying of Korah. So Korah was really the ringleader behind this whole thing. If you know Numbers chapter 16, then you know. If you haven't read Numbers chapter 16, I mean, it's a mighty chapter of the works of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and it shows you what the Most High, the order that the Most High set up. It's a beautiful chapter. Kind of getting excited. It's a beautiful chapter, right? Now, Korah, going back to this account, pulling this up so brothers can see. He's of the Kohathites. The Kohathites, and you can read this in Numbers, the 4th chapter. Their job was to bear the holiest things. They bear the Ark of the Covenant. They bear the menorah, the altar of incense, the showbread. They were responsible for the most holy things within the tabernacle. Then you have the sons of Gershon. They dealt with the different materials of the curtain, the badger skin, and the things that overlaid the tabernacle. And you had the Maravites who dealt with the boards and other things, the sockets and the pillars and smaller things. Now, out of these different components of the tabernacle, we understand that the holiest things were the things that the Kohathites dealt with. They dealt with the holiest things, the most sacred things within the tabernacle, right? Boards and bars that the Maravites dealt with is not as sacred as the altar of incense and the Ark of the Covenant, right? Or the menorah, right? The lights, which shows you also that, the Most High has different lots. Everybody doesn't have the same office. Certain men were elected to bear heavier burdens than other men, right? Certain men, they were given apostleship. Certain men are prophets. Certain men are teachers. Certain men are helps. Everybody has a lot that they were given by the Most High, right? I tell you that in, I have to open up another blue letter. Right, I tell you that in Romans the 12th chapter. All right, let me get that real quick. So even when it came to dealing with the tabernacle and the service of the Most High, everybody couldn't bear the Ark of the Covenant. Just like everybody can't be Peter, everybody can't be James and John. Certain men have to be Joseph of Arimathea. You have to have those men, right? You have to have Stephens. You have to have Paul. So you have to have all of these different spirits for the edifying of the body. Right, Romans 12:4, for as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office. See that? Right, again, like we always say, you don't have 1,000 janitors in a company. If you go work for Google or Apple, they don't have 10,000 guys washing the windows or 200 guys taking out the trash. You have CEOs, CFOs, CIOs, COOs, regional vice presidents, senior vice presidents, a board of directors, supervisors, guys that train people. You have HR. You have all of these. You have technology solutions. You have all of these different departments in a company that keep it thriving, right? And certain positions are more important than others, right? Being the senior vice president is more important than just being a regular supervisor, right? Being a supervisor is more important than just taking out the trash. You understand? So everybody was given a particular lot. Romans 12:5. So we being many are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another. This is not just applicable to the time of the New Testament. This applies all throughout the Bible. Verse 6, Romans 12:6. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith. All right, so if the Most High gave you the spirit of prophecy, prophesy according to the faith that the Most High gave you. Don't try to go above and beyond what you saw somebody else do. Do what you believe. Prophesy the scriptures that you believe in, right? Or ministry, let us wait on our ministering, or he that teacheth on teaching. And as you read this chapter, you read these different gifts that the Most High gave him. The men that Korah came from, right, they were the top men. Right, this is Numbers, right? Just to give a precept, Numbers chapter 12:2. Take the sum of the sons of Kohath from among the sons of Levi after their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even until 50 years old, all that enter into the host to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. So in order to do that work, you had to start at 30, right? That was the qualification. You had to be 30 years old, and when you had to retire at 50, because you couldn't be 50 kind of old and you can't bear the Ark of the Covenant. You drop it and the tables of stone and the manna fall out, and you got to know when to call it quits. So the Most High said, okay, I made man to be at the age of 70, at the age of 50, they're going to be forced to retire from the ministry. All right. It reads, this shall be the service of the sons of Kohath and the tabernacle of the congregation about what? About the most holy things. So certain men are given the most holy things. Certain men, even on a spiritual level, certain men know more in-depth breakdowns, prophecies, right? They're more inclined to know the dark sayings. They have a stronger relationship, for lack of better terms, with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? They have a higher office. The sons of Kohath, they deal with the most holy things. You may have men on the earth now, they may deal with the most holy things, right? On a spiritual level. When the camp setteth forward, Aaron shall come and his sons, and they shall take down the covering veil and cover the ark of the testimony with it. So they will cover up the ark of the testimony, right? The ark of the testimony is a symbolic for the spiritual things, the ark of the covenant with the tables of stone, Aaron's rod that budded, and the golden pot of manna. All right. And shall put thereon the covering of badger skins, and shall spread over it a cloth wholly of blue, and shall put in the staves thereof. So a stave essentially is a pole that you use to carry the ark upon your shoulders. And upon the table of showbread, they shall spread a cloth of blue, and put thereon the dishes and the spoons and the bowls and covers to cover withal, and the continual bread shall be thereon. And as you read this account, you read that they were given these holy things. All right. And everybody wasn't given his lot. This was given to the sons of Kohath. They dealt with the most holy things. Now this Numbers 4 and 15. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is set forward, or as the camp is to set forward, after that, the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die. These things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation. So Aaron, he was the closest because he actually could deal with the Ark of the Covenant and deal with these holy things. And then the priests, they would come and cover it, the sons of Kohath, and they would bear it upon their shoulders. They couldn't look at the holy things lest they die, right? Meaning that the sacred things of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not given to everybody. Everybody's not given the same wisdom. Everybody's not given the same knowledge. Everybody's not given the same understanding, right? So just laying that background to let you know how high of an office Korah really had. And Korah was a somebody. He wasn't a nobody out there in the wilderness. He had a great name, huh? They literally bear the Ark of the Covenant. They had a greater responsibility than the sons of Gershon and the sons of the Murmurites, right? And we can see this applied on a spiritual level in the ministry again, because everybody does not have the same office. Everybody do not have the same lot. We know spiritually that the Ark of the Covenant is symbolic for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua upon the throne. We know that this menorah that gave light in the tabernacle is really just a physical, worldly item symbolic for Yahweh Shai being that true light. You read about in John 8 and 12. The bread given upon the table of showbread, we know that that's carnal, and Yahweh Shai is the true showbread, the altar of incense, right? We know that Yahweh Shai, he has prayed for the elect in John the 17th chapter. He said, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, right? So we know that all of these things are symbolic for Yahweh Shai. So they literally dealt, when you think about it on a spiritual level, they literally dealt with Yahweh Shai. They were the closest to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua than the sons of the Marites and the Gershonites. Now, when you go back to Numbers the 16th chapter, just to lay that foundation, So brothers can have an understanding on who Korah is and what family line he came from. He came from a line of men that were set up, men that were close to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua on a spiritual level. Even though they dealt with carnal objects, they dealt with spiritual things. You know? Now this is let's see. I had this as well. Right, so here's the holy things. Here's really the tabernacle. And you can see it's divided essentially into different components. Right? So you have the curtains, right? The curtain in the door, really the curtain right here. This was given to the sons of Gershon, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Well, yeah, Gershon, they were given the curtain. And then these holy things, right? These holy things right here, everything in here was carried by the sons of Kohath. And you can see that this being Yahweh Shai, you have to have a spiritual mind to understand what was going on in the wilderness. And you can clearly see how certain men were closer, even proximity, physically closer to the Ark of the Covenant than other men. Other men weren't even allowed in here. And only the high priest was allowed behind this veil into the holiest of holies. Right? So you had the most holy place and the holiest of holies. So certain men weren't even allowed in here, which shows that that Levitical structure on a spiritual level is also applied to these last days, man. Right? Certain men can't even get close to Yahweh Shai. They're not even allowed in his truth. And the Lord said, the outer court, measure it not, for it is given to the Gentiles in Revelation, the 11th chapter. You know, so everybody wasn't even allowed here. They'll be shot and thrust through, you know, with the chariot. And these holy things were carried by particular men, and each man had a different office. Now, number 16, again, we know who Korah was. Korah was a man set up by the Most High. Right? Now, Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the sons of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. So these are Reubenites, these are Levites. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And you can't just get 250 men to be on your side and to plead your cause with you overnight. This didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen within 2 days. You know, when conspiracies like this happen, it's planned, and it takes time. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months for you to have an insurrection. To get 250 mighty men on your side, they were planning this thing. There's no telling how long they were planning it, but you know through the spirit that this thing was in the works for quite some time. You know, this is called sedition, right? When you go to the book of Galatians, that's one of the works of the flesh. And you have that. You have that at workplaces. You have that in the truth. You have that in sports. You have sedition everywhere. Well, you have men, and it's really amongst Jake, right? Because the Moabites, they have order. Even though they're off on the left-hand side, they have order. The Ishmaelites, even the Hamites, they know when they jumping in that circle with the spirit that the chief, they have a chief guy who's in charge. You may have the chief Hamite or the king of the Moabites, but with Jake, it's always that crab in the barrel spirit. Somebody's always envious. Somebody's always jealous. Somebody always wants somebody's spot. Somebody always wants to be in charge. People can't follow order. Everybody's proud. So Jake, you know, Jake is dysfunctional, a dysfunctional people. And that's what the Most High has put the law and our inward parts, because Jake, they mind not right, man. That's one of the reasons why Israel could barely come together now, you know. But this is Galatians chapter 5 and verse, I'm going to get straight to the point, 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. So here's the works of the flesh: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, right? What is sedition? I want to go into this word in the Greek, right? What is sedition? We've covered it before. Brothers know, but I want to actually get it in the Greek right here, man. Right? Let's go into this word sedition. Let's see if it plays. If it doesn't play, then that's all right. Dikastasia, right?
Strong's G1370. Dechastasia.
Right? It says dissension or division, right? Disunion, dissension, division. So you have men who cause division, sow discord, put one brother against one brother, right? Slander this guy's name and bring a false report against this guy's name and say he blamed this guy and just cause confusion, right? The Lord said these 6 things doeth the Lord hate, right? You have men that are literally set up to cause strife, discord, and confusion on the earth. And Korah, he's one of those men. You have other men, but Korah is one of the chief men you read about. Proverbs chapter 6 and 16. These 6 things doeth the Lord hate, or doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Meaning thinking about overthrowing your brother, right? And this is the context of number 16. You're thinking about how to overthrow the Most High. Feet that be swift and running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and what? And he that soweth discord among brethren. So when you sow something, you're planting seeds. So people plant seeds of confusion in the minds of other men, and the fruit of it is nothing but strife, contention, bloodshed, and violence, man. When you sow these things, all right? So let's go back to this, right? Numbers chapter 16 and verse 3. And you don't want to be like these men. We're going to find out what happened to these men. These men have no order. These men rebel against the Most High. They're proud. They can't take any instruction. And they don't even appreciate, and they're not even content to what the Most High gave them, huh? And we're going to read that. Certain men, you're just not content with the Most High gave you. You always want more. You want more wives. You want a bigger house. You want a bigger car. You want fancier clothes. You want more food. You want a better job. You always want something, huh? Wish I had this. I want that. Can I get this? I want to be like this. And that's an evil spirit to have, man. That discontent spirit. It reads, that's covetousness, which is idolatry. Numbers chapter 16 and 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. So they said, look, we're all Israelites. Why are you in charge? I'm an Israelite too. We're all holy, and the Lord is with me too, man. And that's a proud spirit to have. Knowing that the Most High set up Moses and Aaron, right? That the Lord used Aaron and Moses to deliver them out of Egypt. They wouldn't be in the wilderness, and they wouldn't be on their destination to the promised land if the Most High didn't use those vessels, Aaron and Moses. And they said, ye take too much upon you. So it's always brothers or even sisters who seek that preeminence, man, who want to run things. You see it in sports, right? You may have a guy who's set up to be the team captain, or the guy he has to he's the star quarterback, or he's the star basketball player, and guys on the bench just hoping that he falls, man, so they can take his spot, hoping that he misses. Here they are on the same team, and they want that spot so bad they're hoping that their fellow teammate misses and has a bad game, so the coach can put them in, and they can show the coach that they deserve to be in that spot. They don't want their brother to get better. They're not exhorting him to continue and keep pushing. They want him to fall just so they could take your spot. And there's brothers like that in Israel, praying that you have brothers praying that you fall out the truth so they could take your spot, man. You have sisters praying against sisters so they could take their husband. You know, you have all types of confusion and madness going on. It reads, wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And that's a humble thing right there. A lot of men wouldn't do that. You have 250 men coming against you. And he spake unto Korah and to all his company, saying, even tomorrow Yahweh, Bashmi Abishai, will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him who he hath chosen will he cause near to come unto him. This do take you censers Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. So Moses said, hey, look, man, at the end of the day, we're going to find out who the Most High is dealing with. It's the Most High dealing with you, or it's the Most High dealing with us. And Moses didn't want to do that. But sometimes, you know, things have to be done because Jake don't understand. Jake is hard-headed, man. So now you have to got to get, you know, things involved. Verse 8, and Moses said unto Korah, here I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. So Moses said, what? You want to be over all of Israel, but you're not even content that the Most High set you up to bear the holiest things, man. You know, and Jake is discontent, man. And you have brothers in the truth. They know precepts, they know breakdowns. The Most High may have given them a family, they may have a particular office, but it's not enough for brothers. It's not enough. They want to be the supreme Israelite in charge. They want to be the top Israelite, and everybody has to report under him or under them. And Jake, man, no other nation really moves like that except Israel. Like I said, these other nations have order. Even the so-called white man, they salute each other and they're devils, man. Or you might have the general, a sergeant, or whatever these ranks are, 5-star general, and a damn army, and another Edomite, hey, they'll salute that guy, man. Right? The guy with the private or the captain, they'll stand up when the general walks in the room. And even Esau, who's a damn devil, they salute other devils, man. The Moabite man, he'll bow down before the other Moabite man. Jake can't do that. Why this Jake and they might, why this nigga in charge? I'm better than him. Let me show what I can do. Right? Who does she think that she is? Jake, you just have envy, huh? Which is ultimately these curses. That envy, if you got envy, you're not going to make it in your spirit, man. The Most High is going to destroy you if you're envious of your fellow brother. Why are you envious of your brother, man? Or envious of a sister? And the Lord said in Job, the 5th chapter, right? Wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one, man. And envy is a disease. And if you don't cut that disease, it's going to root you out. And envy could turn to violence. Envy could turn to hatred. Right? Envy, envy could turn to obsession. People that they're obsessed with people, man. They're stalking them. Look at Esau. Esau is envious of Jacob, and you see the fruit of that seed of envy. Job 5:2. For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. So envy will kill you, man. If you have envy in your spirit, if you're envious of another brother, I know brothers say, or sisters, or brothers both, you might have saw a brother on social media, right? Or a sister doing this, and you got that envy inside of you. Or a brother might know more than you, right? Or a sister might have more works than you. Or she might be married and you might not be married. Or this brother might have damn 2 wives and you still live in your great grandmother's basement. Right? Or this brother has the fanciest garments, you just got rags on. Or this sister is always has the expensive jewelry on and the head wraps. You don't have much. And you're envious, man. The Most High isn't dealing with envy. Nobody that's envious of their brother is going to make it to the kingdom. Straight up and down. The Lord isn't dealing with jealousy and envy. Right? And that's the spirit that Korah, they have many spirits on them, many demons. But one of the demons that they had on them was what? That envy spirit. And they were already in a high position. They were the sons of Korah. We just went into it. Their job, where is it at? Was to bear the holy things. Why would you be envious when the Most High brought you near unto him to bear the ark of the covenant? Hey, look, if I got to bear the ark of the covenant, I'm gonna be content, Most High willing. And I'm noticing that everybody doesn't have that office. Everybody can't bear it. Even my fellow brother, the Gershonites, my fellow brother, the murmurers, even other Levites, they're not even close to what I can do. I'm gonna be content. I'm not going to be envious of Aaron and Moses. Hey, look, the Most High allowed me to do this. And brothers have to accept their lot too, man. You have to accept your lot that the Most High gave you. Everybody's not going to know what this next brother's going to know. Every sister's not going to have the same works that this sister has or the same spirit. You have to be content with the Most High gave you and the talents and use that and flip that and magnify the name of the Lord. Stop being worried about what everybody else got going on, man. And that's the downfall of our people. And we're clearly reading about it. Don't be like this, man. Right, let me get this precept of 1 Maccabees. 1 Maccabees chapter 5. Right? Somebody's always going to have something that you don't have, man. Be content with what Yahweh Shai gave you, man. Take it, appreciate it. Right? And increase in that. And maybe the Most High will reward you and put you in a better office. Or a higher office. But if you're envious, you're discontent, and you're carnal, and the Most High is going to remove that office from you. And you see what the Lord did to the sons of Korah as we read on. Since they were discontent and envious, the Most High didn't even exalt them. He actually removed them from this office and destroyed them. And that's what happens, man. The Most High, if he sees that envy in you and the desire that you want what another brother has, he's going to take what you already have. He's going to take all the wisdom you have. If you're coveting what this brother has, he's going to take the knowledge you have, or the physical things you have, or the carnal things you have. He's going to take it from you because you are too busy worried about what's on this brother plate or worried about what's on this sister plate, man. This is a beautiful example of what not to be in the book of Numbers, the 16th chapter. All right, let's go to 1 Maccabees chapter 5. I want to get another account of this thing. This is 1 Maccabees chapter 5 and verse 55, right? 1 Maccabees chapter 5 and 55. Now, what time as Judas and Jonathan were in the land of Galaad, and Simon his brother in Galilee before Ptolemais. Joseph, the son of Zacharias, and Azarias, captains of the garrison, heard of the valiant acts and warlike deeds which they had done. So these men were captains. They were in high positions. And they heard what Judas was doing. They heard how Judas was slaying the heathen, how Simon was a mighty counselor, how Jonathan was vexing the so-called white man. And they heard about it. And what did they do? Wherefore they said, let us also get us a name. Let us also get us a name. And go fight against the heathen that are round about us. And the Most High's not dealing with that spirit, man. Let us also get us a name. Right? You might have a sister, she might be doing a video or showing something, and she might have 10,000 views, and then now you want 10,000 views. Or this brother, he might be out there and doing God knows what in righteousness, and you want to be like that brother. I want to have a name too. I want to be famous. I want people to know me. And the Lord sees that spirit, man. Lord, please give me what that brother has. Brother, why don't you focus on what the Most High gave you and increase that, man? Right? You're not even tapping into the gifts that the Lord gave you. You might have gifts and talents, even though it's not about this. You might have gifts and talents that even supersede what that brother has. but you're too busy, or sister, you may have gifts and talents that excel what that other sister has, but you're too worried about what they have instead of watering the seed that the Most High planted within you. The planting the seed of virtue and righteousness, water that, give that sunlight, build on that. Because you don't know the end of their tree. Their tree may be maybe about to be cut down soon, man. You know, their branches may be ready to fall off. Their fruit may be rotten. Mold on the inside, worms on the inside. Fruit and apples are, green or red, and they're shiny and they look good. Hey, sometimes there's worms on the inside. Sometimes there's little bugs and flies are eating some side of it. So you're looking at someone's fruit, covered in their fruit, and you don't understand and see what the Most High sees. Now, these men are off. These men saw or heard what Judas and Simon and Jonathan did. They said, hey, look, I want to get a name too. Right? You got a lot of brothers and sisters, they want to get a name in this thing. They want to be famous. Maybe they want to be a famous rapper. Right? Maybe they want to be a famous, make fashion. They want to be the next fashion designer in Israel, or make jewelry, or have the most views, or have the #1 camp, and everybody just knows them. The Lord isn't dealing with brothers trying to get a name. Right? Verse 58. And the Most High wants you to praise his name and glorify his name. He don't give a damn about you trying to get a name. That's not the focus. The focus is magnifying the Father's name. Did not Yahushua say one of my favorite precepts, if not my favorite precept, in John the 12th chapter? What did Yahushua say? Right? John chapter 12 and 28. Father, glorify thy name. Right? Father, glorify thy name. Then came there a voice from heaven saying, I have both glorified it and will glorify it again. So Yahushua, he said, Father, glorify your name. I'm not worried about my name. Yahushua said, I seek honor not from men. And the Father said, look, I have glorified it. I've done works in Egypt. I've done works amongst the Canaanites. I've done works amongst the Assyrians. I have glorified my name, and I'm going to glorify it again. I will destroy America. I will enslave these other nations. I will set you up and put crowns on your head. I have glorified it, and I will glorify it again. You see that? And that's Yahushua's focus. And this is our focus too. Our focus is all about glorifying the name of the Most High God, not trying to get us a name, not trying to be the damn #1 Israelite, man, or have the most views, or be seen amongst men in a carnal aspect, or assign autographs. You got brothers assigning autographs, man. Here, let me sign this for you. You want me to sign your apocrypha? And the brother takes the Sharpie from behind his ear and signing a brother's apocrypha, man. Right? Signing KJV button. Let me sign that for you. Right? Writing to the servant of the Lord. Right? Writing that on his Bible to the servant of the Lord. And then he signs his name. Right? Ask him. Hey, a brother said, this what I don't want to put words in this brother's mouth. But the brother said, so a brother saluted. I'm not gonna put names out there, right? This happened years ago. A brother saluted another brother in Israel, and he said, man, I seen you on YouTube, man. I see you, I like your videos, man. He said, yeah, everybody says that about me. I hear that a lot. Everybody knows who I am. And that's what this guy said, man. He said, yeah, I hear that a lot. Everybody knows about me. Pretty much like this, man. Like a nigga. The Most High doesn't care that everybody knows you, man. The Most High, our job is to get everybody to know the Most High. We don't give a damn about who knows us, man. The Most High, when it's time to get a name, the Most High is going to give you a name. The Lord said in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, that I will get them praise and fame in every land. The Lord said he's going to get you praise and fame. You don't have to work and strive for praise and fame, man, to be famous. That's off. Hey, I knew a brother, he didn't want to teach unless the camera was rolling. Right? He did not want to teach. This brother used to be in the camp. Right now, he's back in the world growing weed, man. And all he does is video on marijuana and the herbs. He grew his hair out, and all he does is show videos on weed, man. And the brother will not teach. He would not teach, rather, unless the camera was damn rolling. As soon as the camera stopped, he stopped teaching. Said, I'm done. Did this. Brother, so you still going to teach? You know? And you know how many damn caps we have without the camera? The battery may die. It may overheat. Something may happen. The brother may have left it at home. Whatever the case may be. There's plenty of caps, man. Brothers know in the body. It's not about that. We just push the word out. Right? Now, if we put videos out so we could let the light shine, if Yahweh shine, and men could be drawn to the Lord. Right? Now, I want to get this in Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, real quick. And I want to go back to Numbers. Zephaniah chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 17. The Lord thy God is in the midst of thee. It's like the Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. And that's speaking about the men of the Lord, man. Behold, at that time, I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halted, and gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land wherein they have been put to shame. At that time will I bring you again. It's like at that time will I bring you again, even at the time that I gather you, for I will make you a name. For I will make you a name and a praise among all the people of the earth when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Lord. Who's going to get us a name? Yahweh Bashmi Awashah. He's going to get us a name. We're not looking to get a name for ourselves. We're not looking to be preeminent. We're unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. It's just, look, our job is just to keep pushing this word and push this truth. You understand? And most are willing to elect are sealed. And it's about glorifying the Father's name. You know? So that's what this thing is about. And these men, they're not in that spirit. Men in Korah, they want to get a name for themselves. They want to be in charge. Men like in Maccabees, who want to get a name, Jonathan and Azarias, they want to be in charge. Right? And let's see what happened to these men that want to get a name. First Maccabees 5:58. So they said, look, we want to get a name and fight the heathen. So when they had given charge unto the garrison that was with them, they went towards Jamnia. Then came Georgius and his men out the city to fight against them. And so it was that Joseph and Azarias were put to flight and pursued unto the borders of Judea and were slain that day of the people, about 2,000 men. So these brothers wanted to get a name. They went to fight against the heathen. Not only did they get put to flight, but worse, what's the worst thing that happened? They caused 2,000 of their brothers to die. See that? That's what happens, man. See, it's bad enough that they wanted to get a name. But what's worse than that is they got put to flight. And what's worse than getting put to flight? Having your brothers get put to death. So this is what happens when brothers don't have order. When you're moving in the wrong spirit. Your whole family is going to be destroyed, man. And the Most High is going to give you over to your own lust. If you don't check that envy, the Most High is going to have you act on that envy. If you don't check that spirit of discontent and your spirit for carnal things or spiritual things, the Most High is going to what? Destroy you, man. And use that against you to root you out the land of the living. You have to check your spirit, man. And get rid of that demon before that demon gets rid of you. You have to subdue that spirit. Because really, you know, when you think about it, when you go into the accounts of the wilderness, the Most High lets you know that that was Satan tempting our fathers in the wilderness, man. You know, and they were tempted. And the Most High sent these spirits against them, but they couldn't recognize the spiritual demon Satan, and they gave heed to the flesh, man. So these men got their brothers killed. Thus was there a great overthrow among the children of Israel, because they were not obedient unto Judas and his brethren, but thought to do some valiant act. Yeah, the Most High is not dealing with the brothers that just want to do some valiant act. Yeah, I'm going to go out there and teach right in front of the police department. I'm gonna take the camp signs, right? And I'm gonna lay them all out in front of the police department. And I'm gonna open the police doors and I'm gonna start shaking the hand with the microphone. You know? And then I'm gonna reach in my pocket in front of the police department to grab my phone, but they don't know what I'm grabbing, so I reach in my pocket to get something. Then you're in the spirit world, because they thought you were reaching for something. The Lord isn't dealing with brothers doing valiant acts. Now you can be valiant in righteousness, but if you just want to do God knows what, the Most High isn't dealing with that, man. It reads, moreover, these men came not of the seed of those by whose hand deliverance was given unto Israel. So Most High, guess what? If you didn't come from a particular seed line, then the Most High wasn't dealing with you. Now, these were all Israelites. Jonathan was an Israelite. Azarias was an Israelite, but he wasn't of the seed of Mattathias. There's a particular bloodline of men and chosen vessels that the Most High set up. If you're not that vessel or chosen, then guess what? Then the Most High is going to turn your plots and plans against you and overthrow you. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, man. The Lord gave the deliverance to Judas. That was his lot. He gave the deliverance to Simon. The Lord gave the deliverance to Jonathan. He didn't give it to anybody else. He didn't even give it to Mattathias. Mattathias perished in his old age. And even the lots between Judas died in battle. Simon had a different lot. Jonathan had a different. Everybody has a particular lot that you were given, man. You know? Now, when you go back to the book of Numbers, let me read this again. Numbers 16:9. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel. And we already chosen. You are chosen in this truth, and you just want more. Right? You're chosen. You know your nationality. You know you're an Israelite. You know the laws and commandments, but you just want what another brother has. You want his house. You want his knowledge, his wisdom, his office. And you hope that he falls out so you can take over. You know? And the Lord already separated you, man, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. Right, Salaki, bear with me. Let me grab this. Salaki, I gotta grab this charger. Right, so you have certain men who are just going off, man. Right, who just want a name. Verse 10, Numbers chapter 16:10. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. He said, the Most High brought you to be to do the work of the ministry. You're in the tabernacle, and you want the priesthood? The hell is wrong with you? Be content. Let me get down to Hebrews the 13th chapter. All right, be content with what the Most High gave you, man. There's a lot of things that you have that another brother doesn't have. And there's a brother poor right now. Here you are complaining about your house. It's too small. It has this. The roof is leaking. And there's guys out there literally with no house, man. You know? And they're not even in the truth. There are a lot of us to be homeless until the missiles come. And you're, I don't like my house. I don't like my car. And there's guys that walk to work, man. I got to drive 45 minutes. Oh, boy, I got to get up in the morning. And there's guys in prison, man, doing God knows what for a pack of cigarettes, locked up unjustly for things that they have never done. Oh, I don't have a wife. How come he gets a wife? How come she gets a husband? How come they get the... And the Lord, The Lord don't want to hear that, man. Hebrews chapter 13 and 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have. For he hath said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. See that? So brothers got to check their spirit, right? Do brothers have a covetous spirit? Are they always talking about what they want? Are you a complainer? Are you always complaining? See if you can go one day without complaining. Oh, my back hurt. And you have guys with no legs. What do you mean your back hurts? Oh boy, I gotta get up. I gotta go to work. And there are guys who literally are about to die tonight, man. And they don't even know it. Because the Most High is going to snare them in an evil time. See if brothers and sisters can go one day. See, 1 week is too much. 1 week is too much. One day without complaining. I challenge every brother and sister watching this to go one day without complaining and just thank Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for the evil and the good. Even Job said that. Job said, shall we not receive evil of the Lord and good? And the Most High said, I will never leave thee nor forsake thee, man. You know? The Most High said in 1 Timothy chapter 6 and 8 on down, in having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. Right? It's lucky. Let me get that real quick. So there's a lot to learn from these men. Don't be like these discontent, covetous, proud men that sought the preeminence, that wanted a name for themselves. They had demons on them. Korah had demons on them. About as many demons as legion. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Right? You keeping the law, you keeping the commandments, you keeping the precepts, you're diligent and you're content. I mean, all praises to the Most High. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. If you have food and you got clothes, the Most High said, hey, look, be content. That he didn't even say food. I mean, he didn't even say a shelter in this precept. He didn't even say, a phone, right? A laptop. He said, if you got food and you got raiment, be content. So this is a challenge. Go one day from, it's 10:36 on the East Coast right now. From 10:36 till 10:36 tomorrow, see if you can go one day without complaining and being discontent, man. And just deal with it. And thank Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man, for the evil and the good that befalls us. These men should have been content because they were in a high office. They were literally brought near to the Most High, again for the third time. For brothers that didn't see it, they're the ones set up to bear the Ark of the Covenant. They literally get to bear the Ark of the Covenant, and the Ark of the Covenant is a representation of Yahushua. What more do you want? You have the menorah, symbolic for the 7 churches. What more do you want? The altar of incense, when the prayers are lit. The showbread, man. What more can you ask for? And you have brothers like that. Brothers know breakdowns, the laws, the commandments. You may know a few precepts, your nationality, your heritage. You have been brought near unto the most holy things. You know what the Apocrypha is? Some men have never even heard of the Apocrypha, man. The Lord said, blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear. For many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things that they see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which they hear and have not heard them. Some men don't even have access to internet to listen to the live right now. They have poor Wi-Fi signal, holding their phone up, it keeps going in and out. You got a clear signal, right? They have no internet. They're hoping they're trying to pay their bill so they can kind of get get the lives and tune in to, but they don't have it, and you do. Right? Everybody has something. We know this even in the world. Everybody has something that somebody else don't have. Right? And these men have something that we don't even have. These men got to deal with the most holy things. Right? Gershonites, they dealt with the curtain and the badger skins. The Marites, they dealt with sockets and pillars. And everybody had a different office. These men had a high office. And they wanted more. Jake, you always want more. And again, the Most High is going to, take away the blessing that he gave you, man. So let's go on in Numbers chapter 16 and see what happened to these men. Here they were given a high office and a beautiful, beautiful gift from the Most High God. And let's see what's going to happen to their office and gift because they weren't content with what the Most High gave them. Verse 11, Numbers 16 and 11. For which cause, this is what Moses said. He said, you seek the priesthood also, for which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron? That ye murmur against him. So what does this mean? This means that even though Korah, Dathan, and Abiram went against Aaron and Moses, Moses really knew what was going on. They were really going against the Most High because the Most High set up Moses and Aaron. See, the Most High set up Jonathan, Simon, and Judas. The Lord set up Peter, John, and James. The Lord set up these men. The Lord set up the Apostle Paul. Right? So when you murmur and speak against those men, you speaking against the Most High. You mad at the Most High. That's like you being at work and your CEO set up the supervisor and you complaining to the supervisor, who made you the supervisor? Why do you get to be the supervisor? Hey, he didn't make himself the supervisor. Hey, the CEO, man, take it up with the head guy. Take it up with the guy who set that guy up, who signed these checks, man. Who made you the supervisor? I do my work better than you. I've been here at this company longer than you. I've seen coonery at work, man. When Jake at work get a high position, then you may have old Jake, he been there 25 years. He started, being a nigga, man, for lack of better terms. To the other Jake, man. Jake might have been working hard and, staying late and showing his work ethic and proving himself, maybe the upper management or kind of being there and having those big ideas and making things happen. And that old guy, he may have just came in and just did the bare minimum. Then when the Lord, or really even in the workplace, they set that other guy up, that old man who's been there 30 years, who's been doing the bare minimum, he starts speaking against this guy, man. Hey, but guess what? The CEO set this guy up. Hey, the Most High set up Moses and Aaron. Why are you murmuring against the Most High? And Moses, he called it, man. He pulled their card to the T. He said, what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? Aaron didn't set himself up. And really, you murmuring against what other people have and you envious and you speaking against the Most High. Hey, the Most High gave him that job. Why he get to have that job? And the Lord gave him that. The hell with the CEO. Hey, the Most High gave him that. How can this brother think he know all these breakdowns? He know all of these precepts. He has a better memory. He has more wives. He has a fan. Hey, the Lord gave him those things, man. So now you're speaking against the Most High. You're envious against what the Most High gave your fellow brother. How come this brother, his Bible is newer than mine? Well, whatever the case may be, man. This guy has 2,000 views, 200,000 views. I only have 2 views. What makes him get 200,000 views? I know precepts. I know precepts too, man. I know breakdowns too. I should have 200,000 views. And you going against the Most High, man. You're murmuring against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Hey, the Lord said in Wisdom of Solomon, let me get this the first chapter real quick. Right? Even if you don't verbally express it and say it with words, if it's in your mind, the Most High is going to get up with you too. If you keep it in your thoughts and your mind, you don't check that spirit, hey, the Most High is going to get up with you, man. right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and 10. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmuring is not hid. See, the Most High hears you. Backbiting, whispers, talking stuff. Therefore, beware of murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting. For there is no word so secret that shall go for naught. What does that mean? There is no word so secret. Meaning, the Most High hears everything. There's not a word that you can say with the Most High. I don't know what that means. And the Most High's up there. I can't hear that one. Got me. Damn. He said that secret word that even I, God, cannot understand. Damn. Guess I'll never figure that one out. No, there is no word so secret, man. You can't hide any word from the Most High. There's no secret language. I'm going to make this new language that the Most High doesn't know about. Yeah, he knows about English and Hebrew, but he doesn't know about this one, right? Then you start damn freaking off in the new language, man. And the Most High knows everything. And the Lord said, the mouth that bellieth slayeth the soul, you know? So going back to Numbers chapter 16. Number 16 and 11 again, for which cause both thou and thy company are gathered together against the Lord, and what is Aaron? They gave murmur against him. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. And this is pure niggatry. They basically said, forget you, Moses. Moses said, I want to talk to Dathan and Abiram. And Moses is in charge. Dathan and Abiram said, forget you, Moses. And you know, there can be more expressful, colorful words used. Because that's what I get out of this. Right? When they say we will not come up, I'm not reading it like a white man. We will not come up. We will not come. No, we read this like Jake, man. You know? Think about this, man. Read this. These are Israelites talking. These are old white men. They say, hey, look, we will not come up, man. It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us. And this is bad because they call it the land of Egypt, a land that flows with milk and honey. It said you brought us out of Egypt. Egypt is a land that flows with milk and honey. So their mind was bad. Here they call it the land where they were in slavery, a land that flowed with milk and honey. So they had demons on them. This is not a statement from a sane mind, from a sound mind. How do you call the land that you just got delivered from, where hot sand and building pyramids and enslaved, and you call that land the land with milk and honey? You said you brought us up the land with milk and honey. Coonery, Stockholm syndrome, madness. Then it said you brought us out here to kill us in the wilderness. So they're bringing out false reports. Is that really what Moses did? You think that was in Moses' mind? I'm going to part the Red Sea and kill all of them in the wilderness. The people's mind is bad. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. So Moses, he started getting mad. You know, and I would get mad too this is an unwarranted response, man. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer. 250 censers, right? Because it was 250 princes. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against the door. It's like against them. So Korah, he's a ringleader. And he gathered all of Israel against Moses and Aaron. Really against the Lord. Until the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. Meaning the chariots came down, or that huge chariot and cloud that was over them came down, and the light came down, And that's the Lord, right? Getting ready to speak. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, right? This is similar to Job 38:1, when the Most High answered Job out of the whirlwind. So the Lord came down with that chariot, which is really in a deeper level, goes into Yahweh Shai, with the angels around him, right? And they began to speak unto Moses and Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest they be consumed in all their sins. And that's something brothers got to know too. Because if you give heed to envy, backbiting, whispering, murmuring, you're a partaker of that sin. If you don't separate yourself from that evil, that same judgment that backbiter, slanderer got, man that wanted the preeminence, man that was envious, man or woman that was proud, if you don't separate from them, you're going to get that same judgment. You have to depart from men like that. You might be in somebody's house and they backbiting and whispering and doing God knows what, and you all in a house and you are a partaker of their evil deeds, man. And you're going to be consumed in theirs, not your sin. You're going to be consumed in their sin because you're associated. You're guilty by association. So brothers have to check the company around them, huh? Are you somebody that just you're some people don't even gossip, they just like to hear gossip. Some men and women don't even slander, they just like they get off on hearing it. They call it the tea. I want to hear the tea. What's going on with that with their house? Did you hear what's going on with so and so? And they just like to listen to it. They may not add into it, but they just like to get their rocks off, man. The Lord is not dealing with people who just want to get their rocks off listening to gossip all day and slander and envy and backbiting and discontent. Because that now you're fueling each other. One person say, oh boy, and Jake, you like to out complain one another. Somebody might say, oh, my back hurt. Then well, my knee, my knees do hurt. I was walking for 6 hours. Then the next guy say, well, I know your knees hurt, but I've always had this shoulder pain. I injured myself at this work, at this factory 10 years ago. And Jake, you just keep competing and complaining, and you just want to be in the worst scenario, man. I've seen Jake do that. I've seen Jake compete on who was injured or who had the worst day. Right? Oh, yeah, well, I was late from work. Well, yeah, I didn't even have a job. Well, I can't even spell job. Well, I can't read. Right? Well, and Jake, you just keep doing that, man. I've been in rooms with brothers and sisters who fuel off of each other's self-pity and complaining. And they make it a damn competition, man. And they get off on that. And them demons are hopping on each other. And like the brother said, it rub off on everybody, man. Jake, you always want to have it the worst. You always want to be on top, even when it's the worst, man. I always want to add your 2 cents in. I can't stand Jake sometimes, man. We are under these curses, man. Now I'm getting mad thinking about it. This is what we do. And the Lord said, be not partakers of other men's sins. Well, let me get that in 1 Timothy. Boy, Jake, you boy, man. We got it. We're under curses. I just leave it at that, man. Right? This is 1 Timothy chapter 5 and 22, right? 1 Timothy 5 and 22. Lay no hands, it's like you lay hands suddenly on no man. Neither be partaker of other men's sins. Keep thyself pure. Right? So you want to keep yourself pure. You don't want to be a partaker of another man's sins. Somebody's going off and backbiting and whispering, Hey, keep yourself to it, man. Keep yourself from it, rather. And that's with every sin. If somebody's buying food on the Sabbath, and they say, look, you could eat it. You didn't buy it, but you can eat it, right? No, man, you're a partaker of that sin. Your grandmother's cooking you food on the Sabbath. Yeah, baby, I don't really believe that, but here's some hot eggs and damn turkey bacon. You can't eat that, man. You're a partaker of their sin. You're going to church with them. You're dropping them off taking your uncle to the mosque because, you know, he can't drive. So you're dropping them off at the mosque. The Lord isn't dealing with that, man. You're buying your auntie a pack of cigarettes. You have convinced yourself that it's righteous because you yourself don't smoke, but you're a partaker of her smoking. You're purchasing cigarettes for her to destroy herself, man. You're dropping your co-worker off at work on the Sabbath when he's an Israelite. You're supposed to keep yourself pure from these sins, man. And that's what the Most High told Moses, or really the Most High through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua said what to Israel? And he spake unto Numbers 16 and 26. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men. Right? Keep yourself pure and touch nothing of theirs, lest they be consumed in all their sins. And that's what the Most High told us, that same context in Revelation 18 and 4. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. Right? So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. I mean, if they die of a heart attack, if they die in just old age, then the Most High didn't send me. That's the common death of all men. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open up her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertaining to them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them. And that's what you call a fissure, right? A fissure. Let's see. A fissure earthquake. So that's essentially an earthquake. You may have a regular earthquake and your damn chandelier moving, or your lamp kind of fell on the ground and kind of doing this under your table or whatever. And then you have a fissure earthquake. A ground fissure is where the earth opens up, right? So it says a ground fissure. That's what Esau calls it. Also called an earth fissure, is a long, narrow crack or linear opening in the earth crust, right? Ground fissures can form naturally, right? Or as check this out, such as from tectonic faulting and earthquakes, or as consequence of human activity, right? What human activity caused that? Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. So this is what the Most High did, man. The Most High, Salakia. Pull that back up. Right? The Most High opened up the ground on them, huh? And that's a horrible death. If the earth opened up its mouth and all men fall into it. Look at this. Imagine falling into this pit. All right, let me see if we get some pictures. Because you got pictures you may see is kind of small. You kind of jump across there and leap across there and get to the other side. No, this thing was huge. This thing had to, and they call them now, sometimes you see it called a sinkhole, right? They got videos of that, a sinkhole. That might be a guy kind of driving on the road and the sinkhole open up and swallow him in his car, right? Or somebody, they're walking, they're not paying attention. They kind of got their eyes glued to their phone and they walk and the ground open up and it's a sinkhole. See that? Or a crater, man. Right? Let me see if sinkhole. Right? This is what happened to Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. They fell into the pit. You know, look at this. Boy, man, that's something. That's a strange. That's not a common death, right? That is not the death of all men. That is not the visitation of all men. You sitting up there, just imagine you wherever you watching it live right now, right? You're in your bedroom, you're in your living room, you're in the bath. God knows where you're at, right? But imagine the damn ground kind of shake, and then the earth open up, and you fall down to the pit. And it may not be a 3-second fall. Look how long that pit is. You can't see the bottom. It's bottomless. You might be falling for hours, just screaming. There's no telling how long they were falling. They might still be falling damn near to this day, man, and just hit the bottom right now. You know, even though that that's 4,000 years ago or so, but you get the point. You could be falling for hours, maybe days, man. Then you fall asleep, then you wake up and you're still falling, and your heart is in the bottom of your chest beating, and your stomach is in the bottom of your damn waist, and you throwing up, and you falling and falling and falling, and they could have fell fast. Because you got them soft falls, you kind of fall in slow motion, like you may have tripped over, the edge of the bed, or somebody kind of put their foot out, or you tripped over a chair, you kind of fell down, you kind of caught yourself. Then you got them fast falls, man. Maybe going down 30 miles an hour, 40 miles per hour. Like you damn skydiving. So that's a strange death. And the Lord said it's not destruction to the wicked and a strange punishment, right, to the workers of iniquity. Job chapter 31 and 3. Right? It reads, it's not destruction to the wicked, to the workers of iniquity. Doth not he see my ways and count all my steps? So if you think you're getting away with something, the Most High gonna get you with a strange punishment. Damn, just trying to start your car. You gotta go to work in the morning. You just got through freaking off, committing adultery, watching porn, right? Damn, smoking a blunt. You thought you got away with it. You go start your car, kind of make that noise. When you go start it again, it kind of make a noise. Start it again. Damn, the whole car explode, man. The back explode. You try to get out, but the door is shut. Right? You try to break the glass. You can't break the glass. The car is on fire. Then the hood of the roof catch on fire. You try to kick the damn windshield, right? You punching it. You breaking your damn hand. Your hand broke and now it's bleeding. You're trying to elbow it. And then the smoke getting in. So you kind of cover yourself and break it. Then a fire coming in, then you just explode. That's a strange punishment, man. Or you got to drive, and you got to kind of cross that bridge, right? Some jakes, you got to kind of cross that bridge, man, to get to work. You may have a 20-minute drive. You got to go across a damn bridge, whatever, the Jefferson Bridge, whatever they call it. Driving down there. There's one lane going this way. There's one lane going that way. Right. And normally there's no traffic. Normally there's no accidents. Get to work safely. You come home safely every time. But you just got through freaking off. You didn't study today. Right? You didn't read. You haven't fasted in quite some time. You're envious. You're proud. You're not getting rid of those demons. Driving to work, doing this. Damn spear off the damn bridge, man. Right? Somebody kind of cut you off. You go off the guardrail, car capsize, flip over, right? You're screaming, the damn car. This just happened too, man. This happened 2 weeks ago. This not to myself, obviously not to myself, but a particular individual, man. And this happened literally. I got to the plantation, and then 10 minutes later, my so-called coworker came in. And he said, damn, somebody just flew off the bridge, man. And they didn't make it. And they had their family with them. And that is what it is. So the Most High sees your ways and count your steps. And the Most High got up with Korah. He didn't get up with him immediately. The Most High didn't judge Korah when he talked to the first prince. Then he got him on his side. Then he got 50 princes on his side. The Most High didn't kill him then. The Most High didn't kill Korah when he got 200 princes on his side. He didn't even kill him when he got 250 princes on his side. Right? He got him right now at this moment. So the Lord is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. The Most High, man think they can hold a grudge, and man think they can hold on. And the Most High can hold on to something and then get up with you, man. So this ground opened up on them. Right? Numbers 16 and 32. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up and their houses and all the men that appertained unto Korah and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. See that? And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. So the Lord killed them, man. 250 men, fire from the Lord, whether that was fire from the chariot or whatever the case may be, or just brimstone, or the Most High just sent fire down, regular fire, and killed them, and opened up the ground and killed these men, man. This is what the Most High does. Do not be like Korah. Don't be proud. Be content. Don't be envious. Don't be a gainsayer. And the Lord said in the book of Jude that the Most High destroyed those that believe not, man. Right? This Jude 1 and 5. It reads, I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believe not. See that? So the Lord saved Israel out of Egypt and then destroyed everybody that didn't believe. See that? And the Lord did that to Korah. Korah actually left Egypt. He went through the Red Sea. He saw the plagues, then he destroyed them, because he really didn't believe. This Jude chapter 1 and verse 11. Woe unto them, for they have gone the way of Cain, and ran greedily after the heir of Baalim for reward, and perished in the gainsaying of Korah. Right? So you don't want to be that particular individual where you are gainsaying, man, and discontent on what the Most High gave you, and seeking preeminence, and you're proud. And those men perished from among the congregation. Let's go back to Numbers. Right? Let's go back to Numbers chapter 16. So that this teaches you to fear the Lord, man. Numbers chapter 16 and verse, I think there's a few more in there. Numbers chapter 16 to 36. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make broad plates for the covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord. Therefore they are hallowed, and they should be a sign unto the children of Israel. Right? It reads, and Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers, wherewith they were burnt. It's like wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for the covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger, which is not of the seed of Aaron, come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah, and as his company, as the Lord said unto him, said to him by the hand of Moses. So this is a memorial, meaning it's set up to be remembered. We have to read these accounts and receive instruction from it. We have to receive these accounts and say, look, okay, I have to be, if I have any root of envy in me, any root of pride, any root in vanity, any root in preeminence, any roots of discontent, any roots of covetousness, hatred towards my brother, or vice versa. If you're a sister, those same things apply. Let me get rid of that demon before I am killed by the Most High God, and a strange calamity, man, and a death that we don't even want to deal with, man, or anything of that nature. So we want to make sure, Salaki, that we're moving in a righteous spirit and moving in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmi Abashai in these last days, man. We want to make sure we're charging ourselves to be virtuous, charging ourselves to be righteous, and charging ourselves to be blameless. Right? But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. I wanted to touch on, I'm going to have to do a part 2 on stop making excuses, right? So I'm going to have to do another installment on stop making excuses and go into other prophecies and current events that's happening. With that, I'm going to close up, again, giving our honor and glory to Yahweh. Kwam Yashalom. Shalom.